Good morning, everybody. Well, it's been a while since I've done my last video interview. You know, we've all been locked up with COVID and losing our minds. So it's really nice to be back here and starting to look forward. So today I've got with me Jess Heagren from That Works For Me. Now, any of you who know me will know I'm passionate about flexible working and about making work for mums. You know, it's very much the undercurrent of what the Single Mums Business Network is about solving, because whilst we're battling with this whole work that fits in with motherhood, you know, lots of us choose entrepreneurship, and as a single parent, it's especially important that you get that support on that entrepreneurial journey when there's only one income. So, but for all mothers, it's a problem for all mothers and fathers and primary carers who are trying to fit work in with childcare responsibilities. So I'm really excited about what Jess does, what Jess has created in her team. And Jess is also exhibiting with us at the Find Your Power event, which is in Oxfordshire at the stunning Haythrop Park Hotel on October the 17th later this year. So, so she's going to be there, or one of her team will be there to answer your questions in a really relaxed environment throughout the day. Along with the other amazing companies and leaders that we've got there to sort of talk to you throughout the day as well. So as a sort of precursor to that, I wanted Jess to come on and let you all know a little bit more about how that works for me, works for you. So Jess, if you want to give us a little bit of a breakdown about how it came about and about the journey for both the employer and the employee, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me. So I, up until, gosh, I think it was about 4 years ago now, I used to work in one of the UK's biggest insurers, and I was strategy distribution director. I found that after I had my first baby, I did what lots of people do, went back to work. I went back on a flexible working arrangement, but I was the only member of the team working flexibly. And what you tend to find is that if there's only one person working flexibly, then it's not very flexible. You know, if somebody wants to have a meeting on a Friday lunchtime and you're not working, they'll go ahead and have a Friday lunchtime meeting. And I didn't last very long. So when I fell pregnant with Maisie, my second, I knew that I probably wouldn't be going back. So after I had her, for the first time in my life since I was about 14, I wasn't working. And I thought it would be great. I had these two children. They were, you know, a newborn baby and a 2-year-old. And I thought I would love it. And after about 8 months, I was a bit like, wow, this is tough. And my brain started to, it goes into absolute overdrive, but didn't really have anything to focus on. And it was a real moment for me of realizing that I needed something else in my life. And I think that happens a lot of the time when we think, oh yeah, we'll give up work and, you know, we'll look after the children. It just wasn't for me. So I knew that I needed something else. And what I found was I met so many women in particular, well, more often than not, it's mothers who were in the same camp. So super experienced, loads of skills, really talented, and just nowhere to go. So what I was seeing was people were either having a complete career change, you know, maybe going into making handbags or you know, just something completely wildly different, which is great. Some people absolutely love that. A lot of women carried on battling it out and, you know, slaving through this, trying to get through the commute and childcare and that type of thing. But just generally kind of looking around, just finding lots and lots of people who are in these work situations that didn't really work for them and definitely didn't work for their families. Then one particular day, a friend of mine called. So she's this incredibly successful businesswoman. She has this great business up in London, and she rang me in floods of tears because her very junior accountant had miscalculated her cash flow. She was like, I'm on the brink of, I'm going to lose it all. It's all going to disappear. It's absolutely awful. And after lots of conversations about what she could do, I just said to her, why don't you have a CFO? And she said, oh, I don't think I'm big enough. I don't think I can afford one. You know, it's the same thing that we hear a lot of the time from small businesses, this kind of thinking that they're not quite there yet. And I'd said to her, hire a mum, get somebody who's really qualified, they're skilled, they've done this before, but they might only want to work school hours, or they might only want to work 3 days a week. And that was my moment really, when I just thought, oh, but I wonder what exists out there to bring together people who are skilled and experienced and want new challenges with businesses who really need this skill set and they need that experience. So I went to my best friend Nick and said, look, I've got this idea brewing. I'm looking to get back into work. I think there's something here in bringing these two audiences together. And we did a lot of research between us, had to think about how we might solve this problem. I'm sorry if you can hear a baby crying in the background.
Okay. Okay.
So we had a look at what existed, and we found some incredible recruiters out there. So there were some great flexible working specialists out there who will generally put people in touch with bigger companies. And then right at the other end of the spectrum, there are lots of freelancer platforms. They're places where people go to find freelance work, but they tend to be quite short term. They really drive price down, and they're not really a long term route of finding work. And I just thought there's this real gap in the middle to bring these two groups together. Like I said, so to bring together these small to medium businesses who need skills and experience with these talented women, although we're not exclusively for women, but that was my kind of main audience in mind, to bring these two groups together to do amazing things for small to medium businesses. So we set up our digital platform. We launched it just over a year ago now, and we have a 95% success rate at bringing together small businesses with amazing people. We've got over 3,000 members. Yeah, it's been an incredible year. It's been a tough year. God, yeah. Nobody predicted that a global pandemic would hit, and we've had to do a lot of rethinking and a lot of shuffling. Things that I thought at the beginning would be true are so completely untrue. We've had to move away from them. But it's proven that there is really that need there, and that these two audiences really need each other. So it's now just about connecting them and letting businesses in particular know that we exist and that we're somewhere that you can come to find people that you can trust, who can do what they say they can do. That there's somebody in this country, in the UK somewhere, who can be trusted and does what is
I think that's really important at the moment, because there is a lot of that. It's good to keep it at home as well at the moment, because there's so many people in this country that are struggling. That's become more and more apparent over the last months. We've got some serious issues with relative poverty in the UK. It's not for people's lack of willingness to work. Now I've just got a flash on the screen to say my internet's unstable, so I sincerely apologise if this interview's broken up when it goes online to everybody and you. I don't know why that is, but it's a serious issue, and I already had an established network when I got to the point in my business where I needed a little bit of help, but I was certainly not in a position to employ somebody. So for me, what the solution you're providing is absolutely perfect. I went to an executive assistant who was happy to do literally, I think I just asked her to cover a couple of hours a week just to pick up some calls, and then she would invoice me, and it was just a really simple transaction without me needing to go down the route of employing somebody, and without her needing to go down the route of seeking permanent so it's good to have permanent employment, but I mean, it's a different kind of environment, isn't it?
It is, and what you find is lots of people start at that point and then they go on to become more permanent, or they increase their hours, and that relationship generally develops with the business, I think, which is a really nice way to do it. And there are lots of established businesses as well that still use that I suppose freelance arrangement, and increasingly I think we'll see lots of businesses who say, do you know what, I'm probably not going to employ someone permanently, because what I need is somebody to do, I don't know, maybe 8 hours a week doing a bit of design for me, or a bit of this or a bit of this. And I think we live in a world now where we're much more able to say, these are the skills that I want, and here's a place where I can go to get them, without saying, I'm going to employ someone for 35 hours a week and I'm going to have to find some other stuff to fit in there.
Yeah, it's just, it's brilliant. It's wonderful that you're doing this. So in terms of register on the app then, is it quite straightforward for people who are seeking work and people who are seeking somebody to support them in their business? Is it quite straightforward for them both to
yeah, it's all online. We don't have an app yet, but that will be on our list.
Sorry, it's digital platform. This is
that works.
my 1970s. I'm giving my age away. I'm not comfortable without from digital platform world.
So that works for me.co.uk. Really easy. The registration process takes moments. Obviously, then there's a little bit of time to invest in completing your profile if you're seeking work, but you do that once. And then applying for any opportunities is literally done at the click of a button.
Brilliant. Now, of course, a lot of these platforms are Christmas come early for predators who want people to work for free. Do you have any restrictions in terms of people who are advertising for people to work for free? Because that's one of my bugbears out there.
So we review each of the opportunities that come onto the platform. I have somebody advertised for a social media manager and marketing manager not long ago at minimum wage, and we contacted them and said, you won't get someone, you especially won't get somebody here, so you either need to have a relook at your budget or remove the role, because it's not what I want to be seen promoting with. The only I guess exception is we have had a couple of sales roles that have been commission only, and I think that's quite often standard practice with lots of startups. But I would say, I don't know, 98-99% of the roles that we advertise are all with wages, and they're with published salary bands as well. So yeah, it's something.
Sales agent. So I mean, I needed a sales agent actually. It's interesting that you say that, if you've got sales agents on there, because for my company, the key beds, I've always kind of gone down the route of sales agents for the key beds, because that's a nice healthy commission for somebody who's in that industry, who's able to sort of have those contacts.
Exactly.
I might upload that to your site.
Yeah, I think.
But in terms of, for me, it's more the kind of MLM companies that are just recruiting to recruit. That's
the band not allowed on there.
Yeah, I find it exhausting when you know,
when our sign up procedure, no MLM.
It's insulting, you know, like you said, when you're a woman and you're highly intelligent and you've got skills and you've got qualifications and you want to work and you want to be paid for that work. You know, I think it's very offensive when companies kind of take advantage of your desperation to work from home, and they just want to, you know, they want to really penetrate your life in order for them to do better.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's not what we're about. So we talk a lot about skilled professionals. So we look for and we promote people who have skills and they have experience, and that's to be paid for. I think it's the same. I mentioned it earlier with a lot of freelancer platforms. There's that real driving of pricing down to the bottom, and you find what actually happens is that good freelancers will sign up to things like that for about 6 months, and then they'll say, this just isn't worth it. I'm not going to get any decent work. We do have, there is always that, lots of small businesses will come along and say, oh, I need a marketing person who does video editing, design, you know, blog writing and social media. But I think a job for an organisation like ours is to try and inform and educate around that, and say, we've recently published a how to hire marketing resource guide. So it breaks down and sort of demystifies marketing and says, you know, if you want someone who does design, you need someone who's very arty and capable of using these tools. If you want someone to do your social media, you want someone chatty who can understand your tone of voice and who's able to write. I think there's that education piece, particularly for small to medium businesses, is much more needed than I probably saw at the beginning, but something we're trying to tackle. But yeah, it's just about helping educate.
And are there different levels of service? But forgive me, I literally haven't even looked into this. I'm asking for people who are lazy like me. Are there different levels of service in terms of, will you then let the candidate contact the recruiter, and vice versa, or do you basically vet them, act as the middleman, and then just put forward who you think is suitable?
We've got a couple of different service options actually to cater depending on what people need. So I guess the first thing I would say is that one of our absolute kind of mantras is about being affordable to small businesses. So this isn't about hefty 25% recruitment fees. That's just not us. We work on 3 levels. There's a one-off sort of pay-per-post fee, we call it. So you join us for free and then you just pay a one-off fee for each job you want to post. Or you can sign up to a monthly membership with unlimited role posts. And again, that's a really affordable fee each month. I won't go into it now because it differs depending on what your business size is, but it's all available on the website. And then our third option is actually we can do it all for you. So if you tell us what you want, we'll go away, we'll write your job description, we'll vet the people, and then we'll send those to you. But the thing that I would say actually is because of the type of members that we attract and the way we do things, it's what you find is you get a much smaller number of applicants, but they're all really relevant. So I had a lady a couple of weeks ago who was looking for what did she want? Someone who specialised in LinkedIn sales and was able to do outreach on there. And she said that she rang me afterwards and said, oh, it's amazing. Like I had 5 applications on there, but they could all do the job. There was 3 of them who had experience in my chosen field, and that actually I would have given any one of the 3 a job. And I think that's the difference with using something like us, which is very concentrated, very focused, and we go out and actively find people who can do those skills if we don't have them already, versus posting them on a much bigger platform with a much broader reach, where you can end up with 200 applications from people all over the world, and then that sift takes absolutely,
yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love what you're doing, and I really congratulate you, because we need as many of you as we can get, because it's a big old world out there, and at the moment that world isn't worker friendly for parents, essentially, or primary carers. So this is a big old fight we've got on our hands, and every opportunity there is to make work is to be celebrated and rewarded, really. You're creating a platform which gives us opportunities.
Yeah, the conversations we have with businesses are about just make the flexible working piece really upfront. So there's none of the awkwardness around you going through a whole interview process and at the end saying, oh, I'm really sorry, I've got children, like can we rejig the hours? We invite people on their profiles to tell potential employers or potential clients a bit about themselves. So say that you've got 2 or 3 children at home, you've got a dog and a parrot that you need to look after, like be honest and be upfront about it. Let's take all that crap out of the conversation later on and just be upfront and honest from day one, so everyone knows what they're entering into.
Yeah, brilliant. And you've already been awarded for this, so congratulations. You won an award, didn't you, last year?
So we've just won Female Startup of the Year with Enterprise Nation, and then literally a few weeks ago we've also won the Tech Nation Rising Stars with finalists through for the Southeast, which is just absolutely amazing. To have 2 such big accolades in our first year is just unbelievable. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with it.
Absolutely wonderful, and I've got a lot of respect for Enterprise Nation. I've been a member of theirs. I am a member of theirs on the advisory capacity, and it's wonderful in tech startup as well. Obviously it's women in tech. We love that as well, and. So, and of course, now what we've got coming up is we've got the 2021 Single Mums Business Network Awards, which are now live for applications as well. So not only could you potentially enter that, you could also enter one of the categories is Family Friendly Employer of the Year. So any employers that are making it possible for families to sort of be able to fit working around childcare, by all means, encourage them to nominate. Laura Callahan won it last year. For her work at HR Willow, and she sponsored this year's category. So there's a lot of exciting stuff.
Well, definitely.
And so we know a little bit more about That Works For Me. So the website again is That Works For Me. Is that one word or is that hyphenated?
Thatworksforme.co.uk.
Thatworksforme.co.uk. So if you are an employer, and it can be a small business, just like me, if you need somebody just to help you for 5 hours a week, that's sufficient. This isn't about big companies. This is about small businesses who are ready to enlist some help from a woman who is, capable and qualified. Oh man, sorry, I'm assuming this is open to men as well.
We are 90% women, so.
I'm just terrible. Woman just flows off my tongue because I've been used to sort of working with women for so many years now. So the dog's just singing a song in the background, forgive me. So if you're looking for your services to be recruited, or if you're looking to recruit, visit thatworksforme.co.uk. Come and meet Jess and her team at Find Your Power, October 17th in Oxfordshire. No doubt there'll be a list of the current available jobs there on that day for you to have a look at as well. And we've got lots to look forward to this year. Let's all just get over this one last hurdle, and then we can all celebrate and give each other a nice big hug a little bit further down the line. So thanks, Jess, for coming on this morning. What I'll do is I'll just stop the recording for everybody, and then I'll just say goodbye, okay? So goodbye, everybody, and thank you for watching.